I think one thing that people don't realize about professional anglers is I think they have a vision in their mind that when we go fishing, we're sitting on the front deck and we got a bobber and we're watching it go under. It's real relaxing, and that's not the case. For 95% of us, it's up and down all day long, and practice days are 12 to 15 hours, and tournament days are actually the short days, and you're up and down, you're moving, and it's pretty physical, and it's mentally demanding. It's a lot tougher being a professional angler than most of the people believe it is. I'm really not superstitious. I will say this, one thing that kind of gets me going in a tournament, it's kind of like when I played basketball. If I came out and hit 1 or 2 shots right off the bat, you better watch out. And that's kind of how I am in fishing. If I go out and if I catch a big one or 2 early, or just kind of learn something and take off with it early and give me the day to figure it out, then I usually do pretty good. And some of the days I don't get that going early is days that I struggle. I'll say the home state curse. I guess the odds are against me, from what I've heard. There's only been one guy do it, but that doesn't matter. It's all statistics and things like that. I'm not worried about that. I just I'll show up, fish, and if I got the most weight, then we'll break that jinx. If not, then I guess there's something about it. One thing that drives me crazy fishing tournaments is the inconsistency of the tournaments. You go, I always analyze everything with basketball. You go play basketball, you're playing against another team, you're playing on a 10-foot goal, everything's the same. You go out practicing fishing and you find fish and you think you're doing really good, and then tournament day rolls around, the weather changes, something changes, and you just have to figure it out. I don't know if that drives me crazy, but it's just, that's what always keeps your brain rolling, is you're always thinking, and there's never a dull moment. Some of the days that I've not caught fish are some of the days that I've learned the most, just because you're always thinking, and that tends to get after you over the years. I have to eat, and I always try to slide a snack in there sometime during the day. There have been days when we don't eat anything, but I'm actually looking for something now. I'm just not a sandwich person, and I'm looking for something. And I used to have one when I was a kid, but it was just a little thermos that you could put a can of soup or something in, and it would keep it warm. You could open up at noon and it'd be toasty hot. So I've been looking for one of those. That way, about noon, actually I ain't even got to eat it. I could just drink it and be good to go, and not only be eating something, but hopefully, it should warm you up and make you feel better. It depends on conditions, tough conditions from lake to lake. You're on a clear lake, of course, most people don't want, slick conditions, which means no wind and sun. It just depends from lake to lake. But some of the tougher conditions are, up in Michigan and New York and places like that, Okeechobee, where the lake is so big and you get big wind, and not only does it beat you up, it beats your equipment up, and it just makes for a long day. Those are the conditions some of the few conditions that when you get up in the morning, you're like, I don't know if I want to go fishing today, but of course you have to go. So some pro anglers, they don't fish much in the wintertime, and I'm the opposite. I take about a month off to do a little deer hunting, and I don't pick up a fishing rod for 4 to 6 weeks, but once that's over, I love fishing, and wintertime is one of my most favorite times to fish. There's not a lot of people out, and it does seem like when you get a bite, you catch a bigger fish than usual. So definitely, if I wasn't in the Classic, I'd probably be out fishing anyway. You know, I think the drive from Grove to Tulsa is going to affect the anglers tremendously. I think a guy better be rested up. He better be, you know, really ready. I mean, I've been actually doing some running and stuff, just trying to strengthen myself up a little bit. I've had a lot of people ask me about the fish. The fish will have absolutely no problem in traveling. You know, the water temperature is going to be just perfect for that. But the anglers, you know, you consider it's going to cut down the amount of sleep you get. Not that most guys are going to sleep anyway, but it's going to cut down the amount of rest you get. So it's going to be really, it's going to be a test physically and especially. This is a test to see how I can do. You know, not only a test just in fishing. It's how I can handle, you know, all the media and stuff like that, try to block all that out and just go out and catch the biggest bass that I can. You know, it means a lot for all my friends and all my family to be able to drive an hour and go to the weigh-ins, drive an hour and you know, watch me fish or whatever they're going to do. It's just a big deal. It's not, you know, some of the guys driving a long ways, they're not going to have many people here supporting them, and I'll have a lot, and you know, if I do good, it'll mean a lot just to see, you know, the looks on their faces, and it'll just be real rewarding. I don't know if I can get it down to a moment, you know, the best moment for being a professional angler. A lot of guys would say tournaments that they won, and that's definitely the case for me. But you're talking to a guy that grew up in the hills, that didn't really have a lot other than family, and I'm able to make a living by catching bass. And to me, that's just the most impressive thing to me, and that's the thing that I try not to forget. You know, some mornings I get up and I'm not real crazy about going fishing, and I have to just sit back and say, hey, you're going to go chase a bass and you're making a living doing it. You could be sitting behind a desk working or you know, doing something else. And to me, that's by far the greatest thing. It's not one particular win that I can pick out. It's just that I get up every day and my office is the outdoors, and the way that I grew up, you just can't beat that.